Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazza. On today's show, we'll check in with the Ames Parks and Recreation Department. My guest today is Parks and Facilities Superintendent Joshua Thompson. Joshua, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, today, this season is really a busy time for the Parks Department. A lot of things are going on. This is the time that you sort of prepare for winter.
Yeah. Recently, since the cold weather, or since the cold temperatures have started to kind of filter in the last week or so, we've started to shut down the water in on all of our restrooms and all of our water fountain facilities. It's a tough time of year because you hate shutting it down because people are still active in the parks, but our facilities are just not able to withstand the freezing temperatures in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's a common question we get. We do have more than 3 dozen parks, and some of them, not all of them, have facilities, including restrooms and drinking fountains. Why is it that we shut that down in the winter time?
Our restroom facilities are not insulated. They don't have any furnace or heating capabilities. The problem is that the fountains are probably the most susceptible to freezing. Smaller pipes in the fountains are not able to handle the freezing temperatures.
So just like your home, if you have piping along an outside wall and you're leaving for a long period of time, you kind of want to shut that down. Everybody knows what happens when you have a burst pipe. It can be pretty expensive.
Yes. Just look at last year. We blow out, we take an air compressor and we blow out all the lines in all of our facilities every fall. And even with doing that very well every season, we still had issues last year with still some residue of water in the pipes, and it eventually damaged the pipes, and we had to repair a few things. But all in all, we did a really good job. That's just sometimes you just can't get it all out, but that just states the fact that it's just very difficult to insulate, and the cost would be quite a bit to add heating capabilities to all of our facilities.
So while there aren't facilities, we certainly encourage people to enjoy the parks year-round, and they are open.
Correct. Our parks are open year-round, especially our trails. During the wintertime, if it's snow or ice or anything like that, we still maintain those trails. We do ask people to use caution on those trails because they are maintained on a limited basis. I don't want to say that they're not maintained at all. It's just that there are times when there's freezing and thawing, there's wind, there could be possibly debris on the trails, and we're not always able to be out at those paths all the time, but we periodically check those paths to make sure that they are clear.
So the Parks and Recreation Department does play kind of a key role in clearing paths in the winter, and you're talking hard surface paths.
Correct, yeah. We have approximately 35 to 37 miles of trails in our park system and throughout the city that we maintain through the wintertime.
And so I think I've seen Parks Department people on some of the shared use paths.
Correct. We partner with Public Works, and Public Works kind of leads the show as far as on those shared use paths, but we work together as far as clearing them in a timely manner after a snow event.
But again, everybody needs to be cautious. There could be an area that maybe is a little slippery, or you need to use caution. Yes,
we have great equipment. We try to use the best equipment, and we try to get out there in a timely manner. But there are times when, after a snow event, the wind could come up, or there's can be some freeze-thaw overnight. So we just ask people to please be careful and to use caution when they're on those paths.
I think one of the more popular parks in the winter has been Ada Hayden, particularly in the last couple of years. The different kinds of wildlife that you can view in the winter is pretty astounding. That hard surface trail, sort of the figure eight or the circles around the lake, I know you do a great job of trying to keep that maintained, but again, you can't guarantee that it's always going to look perfect.
Yeah, there are certain areas out there that are a little more susceptible to wind, and since it is pretty a wide open area, there's a couple parts on the northwest side and also on the southeast side that for some reason they drift in quicker than normal areas, and we try to stay on top of those areas. We know those are focal points when we're out there, and after a snow event we always can periodically check those and to make sure that they are clear, because we know that people are active and we want people to be active in our parks and especially on our trails.
So if you wanted to go in some of the other kind of the off trails, those are not cleared in the winter. Are they, do you not discourage people from going in those?
No, I don't necessarily discourage individuals from going on the paths, but just like anything, we want people to use caution. I would like to say that our paths are completely in our necessarily non-maintained trails are completely clear all the time, but they're not. but that's part of the beauty of our park system. It's kind of natural setting. There's some trails that weave in and out of McCarthy, Lee, and Munn Woods. There's an Audubon trail through Brookside Park that's really neat in the wintertime. I've taken my kids there, take the sled, and I drag the kids along. Just look at all the wildlife. I was there a couple years ago and saw 3 or 4 deer, and the girls thought that was really neat.
So again, we expect people to be out in the parks all year round, but to use caution just like you would in the winter, and be prepared, and also remember, no restrooms.
Correct. We understand the inconvenience of that, but just ask people to be prepared and bring some water along, because obviously the fountains won't be on as well.
So one of the other things that I think is fun, River Valley Park, now I can't remember, it must be North River Valley Park, has the groomed trails for cross-country skiing.
Yeah, near North River Valley Park across the Skunk River is East River Valley, and we groom cross-country ski trails there when there's enough snow. We work with, or we communicate with some active cross-country skiers, and they kind of let us know when it would be time for them to be maintained. We have an individual on staff that we have a snowmobile and a groomer that somebody donated a long time ago, and a lot of people are very pleased and very happy with those trails over there.
Yeah, it's fun to have a groomed cross-country trail. I think we probably need to do a better job of telling people not to walk in it.
The reason why we ask people to stay to the sides is because we do groom the trails, and those trails are in the wintertime are specifically for cross-country skiers, and so we ask that you use those trails and just be careful and walk on the side, because it does cause an inconvenience when people walk through the groomed trails.
Sure, as a skier, it's hard to kind of go around the footprints. What about dogs in the parks? Is that a problem?
Not necessarily. Every once in a while we'll have an issue where we get a phone call in regards to dogs, but we ask that people obviously control their dogs the best they can. We understand it's fun to let them off the leash, but we encourage people, if they would like to do that, to buy a dog park pass and take them to the dog park and do it that way.
And I forgot the dog park is open year round, and the winter would be a great time to get out there and let your dog just really run. That is in South Ames off of
Billy Sunday Road.
That's right.
Yep. Near the animal shelter, east of the animal shelter, and it's 7 acres, 2 acres for a small dog park, and 5 to 6 acres for a larger dog area. It's all fenced in, so you can let them roam free and they can have a lot of fun.
And you get your permits for the dog park at the community center.
Correct.
So, well, we've talked about winter activities, and certainly there's a lot to look forward to. I guess that people who are golfers have kind of hung their clubs up for the season.
Yeah. The last day of the season is November 9th. We want to appreciate and thank all of the golfers and all the citizens that came out to play golf this year, and whoever bought passes, thank you, and paid green fees. It was a kind of a rough season with a lot of the rain, but all in all, the course was in great shape.
I've never seen the course look so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. We have a new turf maintenance coordinator. His name is Pat Wienia. He oversees the facility and has done an excellent job. He came in May and has done excellent there. But yeah, the golf course closed on the 9th, and one thing that we do offer in the wintertime is golf lessons. Those will start back up in February. They're inside, obviously, and so if you want to check those out, go to amesparksrec.org, and we can help. You'll be able to find it there, or you can call our community center.
So golfing all the way into early November has kind of become normal, and it seems like a little bit of a change. I thought maybe I'm misremembering, but did we used to close up more in October?
It all depends on the season, but the last 5 or 6 years since I've been on staff with Parks and Recreation, it's always been 1 or 2 weeks into November. The weather has been pretty decent for people to go out and play golf. Once daylight savings time comes, or if it's really cold in the morning, we don't allow golfers on the course. But for those real diehard individuals that really want to go out and stretch the season out a little bit longer, we try to accommodate that as best we can.
And then when can they look forward to the course reopening?
In the last couple of years, it's been it's kind of the dates have changed, but we always try to open up around April 1. It could happen a week prior to April 1 or a week after, just depending on the weather.
So really not too long. They have to wait before they can play again.
No.
And as you mentioned, there is the indoor opportunity for some lessons and to kind of brush up on their skills.
Yeah, it's just, I wish we could play golf year round, but that's just not an option around here.
So we've got the parks buttoned up, and we've got a lot of opportunities for winter, and then we've got Homewood shut down. Obviously, the Furman Aquatic Center shuts down in September. So is this a quiet time of year for Parks and Recreation?
You know, it kind of allows some of our staff to kind of sit back and relax a little bit. But we're working on projects for next summer already. But also we have the ice arenas still open. They still have open skate on Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes those times change, so please check the website for that. We also have open gyms at our community center. And then we also have many programs that will start back up in January. You know, all of our fitness classes, youth activities, whether it's dance, gymnastics, taekwondo. You know, there's still plenty of activities going on.
So the whole recreation side is just gearing up for all the indoor activities.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a season, middle of a session right now. But once after the holidays are complete, they start back up again.
Yeah, always busy, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, Josh, I'm so glad you had a chance to stop by. I know this is right now the very, very busy time of year, and then we'll get ready for some winter activities, and I hope our Ames residents take advantage of all the beautiful parks. How many parks do we have?
We have 37 parks, and actually next year we're going to be adding some.
And growing.
Yeah, and growing, yes, exactly.
Well, great. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Susan.
If you want more information about what's happening in Ames Parks and Recreation, you can look at the website at amesparkrec.org. It's a sort of a shortcut, or you can go to the Parks and Recreation button off the cityofames.org website. Some other things to think about if you're outside this year: there are still 2 Yardways free days left. If you have leaves, we'll take them at the Chamness Technology drop site. That will be November 15th and December 6th. Those are your last 2 opportunities. Also remember, as we get into November, the City Hall and most city offices will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. That's Thursday, November 27th and Friday, November 28th. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.